How's it going, everybody? It's your host, Les Abbott of the Less is More Sports podcast, coming to you live with another hot take that I think you all have come to love oh so much. And as you all know, a lot of what we do here on the Less is More Sports podcast is we expose the media narrative about certain players and teams. And I have one today that is near and dear to my heart, and I think that you all are going to enjoy it just as much as I do. So I hope you all love this video. As always, be sure to like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube and Spotify channel. Be sure to follow our progress on the Less is More Sports Facebook and Twitter pages. And without further ado, let's get into it. In an earlier podcast, Matt and I gave 4 different qualities that make up the criteria of being a superstar in the NBA. You have to be a perennial all-star. You got to play both sides of the ball. You have to make your team better. And maybe the most important of them all, you have to elevate your game in the postseason. Despite fitting every single one of those categories, my man Jimmy Butler does not get the credit he deserves, and it absolutely drives me crazy. In case you might have missed it, ESPN just released their annual player rankings in the NBA, in which they have Jimmy Butler ranked 17th. Not only is that way too low, but the players that were ranked above him, I have a major issue with. And to top it off, just to throw salt in the wound, when they showed the day that the players ranked 11 through 25 came out on SportsCenter, they included the notable ones on SportsCenter, in which they left Jimmy Butler's name off the list. I am absolutely tired of the Jimmy Butler disrespect, and to prove a point, I'm going to name each of the players ranked above him that I have a problem with. I'm going to tell you all why Jimmy should be ranked above them and why this list is a sham. So without further ado, let's get into it. So coming in at number 16, we have Trey Young, point guard for the Hawks. And this is the most laughable one at all. Let's be honest here. He doesn't play both sides of the ball well at all. He hasn't led the Hawks as far as Jimmy has led the Heat. He has one Eastern Conference Finals appearance and a first-round exit. This year in the playoffs, and this is the one that tops it off, he averaged 13 points fewer than he did in the regular season, the largest drop-off in NBA history, and averaged more turnovers than assists. Trey Young arguably had the worst postseason performance of all time. And to top it all off, all of this came against Jimmy and the Heat. They put the clamps on him, and he had no answer. He complained about being guarded tough in college, and here we are, years later. Are we really surprised? I'm not. At number 15, we have Paul George. He missed half the season with his elbow injury, and the Clippers never made it past the play-in games. He was great in Indiana, but that was 6 years ago. He has yet to be a clear-cut number 1 option on a playoff team since then. None of those teams have gone past the second round, and he has had notorious playoff struggles in recent years. At number 14, we have Damian Lillard. And this one was the hardest for me to do because I often feel like Damian Lillard is very underappreciated myself. But if we're being honest, the furthest he's led his team is the Western Conference Finals. Last year, the Trailblazers didn't even make the playoffs. He isn't a horrible defender, but he's not great either. I can't put him over Jimmy. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. At number 13, the irony is strong with this one because it is Karl Anthony Towns himself, who is one of the worst defending bigs in the league. He made the playoffs this year as the leading scorer on the team, but Ant-Man became the best player late in the season. Also, Butler and Towns used to be teammates. When Jimmy was healthy, the Wolves were as high as the 4th seed in the West. When Jimmy got hurt, Towns couldn't pick up the slack and the Wolves were in danger of missing the playoffs until Jimmy returned. Jimmy also pushed Cat to be better. But he's a 7-foot softy and couldn't wait for him to be shipped out of town. Still missed the playoffs from then to now. Cat, you got your wish, but sorry, man, you have not proven that you can lead a team farther than Jimmy. You're talented, but you're soft. Sorry, that just is what it is. At number 12, we have Kawhi Leonard. And I'm going to be honest. A healthy, 2-time Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard, I can respect. But he didn't play at all last year due to injury. And this is a current list. So I can't put somebody who didn't play over someone who played phenomenal in the postseason. Coming in at number 11, we have James Harden, the ISO King himself, who plays absolutely no defense. He's been to the finals as a sixth man. He's been to the conference finals as a maybe one option in Houston, but you can make a strong case that Chris Paul was the better player. He's currently a second option on a Philly team that lost to Jimmy Butler and the Heat in the conference semifinals. Saw a drop in production in the playoffs versus the regular season. As if you all are following the criteria of being a superstar, I think you all are catching on. There's a common trend here. At number 10, we have Devin Booker, and I know this is going to make a lot of Kentucky fans mad. But this is the same dude that complains about being double-teamed in pickup games versus the guy who literally wills his team to victory. Come on, guys. The dude has never even sniffed the playoffs until Chris Paul got to town. Do I even need to say more? At number 9, we have Ja Morant. And this I have one argument for, and it's all I need. The Grizzlies literally have a higher winning percentage when Ja doesn't play. I rest my case. Last but certainly not least, because this might be the hottest take of them all. At number 8, we have Kevin Durant. And I know that's a hot take in its own, but hear me out on this one. Kevin Durant is one of the most gifted scorers in NBA history. On the all-time list, Durant is probably higher than Jimmy. Currently, I'm not so sure. Since leaving Golden State, what have him and the Nets done except underachieve? He puts up good performances here and there, but with teammates like James Harden and Kyrie Irving, they should be doing much better. Jimmy hasn't had half the talent that KD has had in the last 3 seasons and has taken the Heat much farther on average. So personally, even though I think it's a hot take, I can't currently put Kevin Durant above Jimmy, especially with how great Jimmy played in this past postseason. So in all seriousness, I have to know, what is it? Is it because he's not overly talented? Is it because he's not the smoothest? Because I don't know what else Jimmy's going to have to do to gain your respect. At this point, maybe it's just not destiny. But I know one thing. I know a lot of you all who listen to the podcast are going to come at my neck and call me a Heat homer. And it is what it is, and that's fine. But the accomplishments that Jimmy has had and the lengths that he has led the Miami Heat in the playoffs should not be overlooked, and they deserve a lot more credit than what they are given. And to top it off, Jimmy, I have said it once, I am going to say it again, Jimmy Butler is a superstar, and he needs to be treated as such. I hope you all enjoyed the video, but you all got to stop disrespecting Jimmy Butler, man. Come on, guys. Be better than that.